everyone, welcome back to Painted Studio. Maury Curtis Dunbar here, your mistress of the mass messes, and we are back working on fall projects. Now, yesterday we did a live where you saw me using Primetch over a powder-coated steel small children's bench. I got notifications, I couldn't get out of them, I had to get them fixed. I'm like, what the heck? I turned off all that stuff. Nobody should be able to get a hold of me. And now, of course, my tripod doesn't want to hold the camera up high enough, so you're seeing like the top of my head, not just cut off from here up. All right, so enough of that nonsense. Yesterday, we used Faux Effects Primetch on a cast metal powder-coated bench. And then you might have seen earlier that I posted a quick time-lapse video of me painting the bench parts with Artsyville foil adhesive. Hi, Camellia, Carmelina. Sorry, I want to pronounce that right. And if I'm looking too far away, I don't see it. It looked like it said Carmelina. Oh, it does say Carmelina. I don't know what I'm saying. Sorry, everybody, I'm babbling. All right, so if you saw that video and I posted this sign, but I held it up like this. See, what I do for these is I use a Sharpie and I write it so that I can read it, and then I flip the paper over and write over the lettering so that you can read it. But of course, I held it up wrong in the video. So this is the adhesive that we use for our bench. It has been applied and curing for well over an hour. We've had a full dry period for the Faux Effects Primetch, which is a primer designed specifically for hard to bond surfaces. And since we had powder coated metal and plastic on here, that is the perfect primer for it. I did not paint this any color because the black is going to work to my benefit. So the only other thing that we've done now is put the Artsyville foil adhesive on. It's been curing for well over an hour, and we're ready to go. And honest to gosh, I have no set plans on how I'm doing this. So there may be a little bit of winging it here, or like a lot of winging it. I think what I'm going to use, we're going to use 4 different colors of foil on the bench. I think I'm going to do this frame in grape soda color. This is our grape soda foil. And then we're gonna move on from there. And I'm just gonna kind of piece this together and get it the way I want it. Because right now, seasonally, we're working on fall and Halloween. So those are the reasons I'm picking these colors. And guess what? Now that I have done all the priming on this that was needed and the sanding, if I get tired of this color, these colors, want to use it for another season, another holiday, guess what? I can just paint right on over it and create a new look. All right, so as you can see, I'm carefully applying my grape soda because I don't know what I'm doing in here yet. Okay. And foil adhesive does not level, so there's going to likely be some brush marks, maybe some bumps and stuff in here because we had a very challenging surface right in here. And I'm okay with that. We're just going to embrace that as part of a hand-painted look. I'm going to take my scrub brush and go along here. And, you know, no foil release is ever flawless because that's the nature of foils, but we can get pretty good. And I had a nice little air pocket right here that released the foils really well onto the surface, so I'm sort of manipulating that pocket down here if I can, because this will give me a really nice release on it. And I don't know if you guys can see this on camera. Let's see if I can lift this. It's not really going to show, but really there's an air pocket that runs from one end to the other now that I've manipulated it, and it helps release the foil in a really almost flawless manner. Okay, that in itself, amazing looking. Yes. There's a little spot right here that I kind of missed. I must not have rubbed it with my thumb. Okay, good. And then we're gonna take this, stick my hand in. I have not painted the back with the foil adhesive, even though it's primed, because I gotta do one side first. So I can't put adhesive on two sides and sit one side down on another surface. That's not gonna go well. Oops, that's a little awkward there. That's not what I wanted to do. So we're gonna just rub, pull it back, and shift. This is going to be a long one of foiling and probably a lot less talking for me than normal because I'm trying to pay attention to what I'm doing. But please do not hesitate to ask a question. If I miss it, I'll come back and fill it in. Deal with the answer. Promise you I answer every question. Here's that one. Got a little bit right there. A little tension. When I can, I love just using my fingers to release foil because I then don't get any accidental scratch marks in it from the brush if I've been over enthusiastic. And truly you can see our foil adhesive is so good that we get these really nice releases on them. Even with just using bare hands. All right, so I'm gonna push this over here. Try not to get it on anything else that I don't want to foil because it's a big piece. I know I missed some stuff at the corner because the length that was available of foil on that one end was not enough to reach all the way from end to end at this very short side here. And I just stuck my finger in adhesive and did a bad thing that I didn't want to do. No biggie, I'll fix it later. Same as I do everything. So one of the challenges, this is where the foil adhesive was newest, and I just literally shoved my finger against that really, really hard while holding onto the face of it, and that was my own fault. So I'm going to take a little bit of foil adhesive, preferably not some that's dried out hard as a rock. I'm just taking some out of my pour jar. I'm going to tap it in here with my fingers. Now that spot's not going to be very dry, so I may have a challenged release there while I finish up the rest of this. It's my own fault. That's okay, I'll survive it. I just got to get the adhesive off my fingers, so I can pick up foils and not have my fingers foiled, but actually foil the surface I want to foil. So we're going to shift the camera. Sorry about my hand. That's what we have to do. My fingers in front of the lens a lot today, I guess. All right, so sorry, I've got to shove things out of the way so I can fit the foil over onto our surface here. grab a toothbrush just because it's right there. Okay, first of all, that grape soda color is killer. Killer, killer, killer. Oh, I love this color. All right, so we're gonna set that piece aside. I'll probably use some more of it later. I'm gonna take my little disco skull and have a sip of iced tea. All right, so I guess the next thing, and this is probably going to be the most complex part of this, because the rest is just going to be colors or stripes and colors, or stripes or color. I don't know. I'll figure it out as I'm going along, but I'm sticking within these colors. So my next color choice is going to be our Kiwi Leopard. We have some new foils coming in the next week. I was hoping they were going to be here this week, but they weren't ready to be shipped. So we got some more Halloween-y colors coming in. We're going to have a purple leopard, and then let me see if I've got that right within reach to show you what we've got coming in. See if I can see where this is. I don't know if I even have what I thought I had. Well, we're getting some tinsel foils in. We're going to get green tinsel and orange tinsel. Now, they're not going to come in for a little while yet. We got to wait until they're shipped to me. But they're coming in soon. All right, so we're going to put a little of this here on the tree. This is going to be a little challenging because I'm going to have to work with smaller pieces to accommodate the shapes of things. So let's put this over here, and I'm going to have to kind of watch where I lay things down so that it doesn't accidentally, like I don't want a green giraffe. So I got to pay attention to where I'm laying some of this down so that I don't mess up my concept. And I'm scrubbing, as you can see, with the toothbrush, because it's smaller and allows a little more control over where I'm putting things. That one's a soft toothbrush. This is one of my stiffer ones from the dollar store, which is really kind of what I need. Oh, that's cool. That's perfect. And a little bit of green there on the giraffe, but I don't think that's too noticeable. Look how cute that came out on the tree. Oh, I love that. That's perfect. Just what I wanted. All right, so first we'll do the trees, and we're gonna have to, again, piece this out a little bit, cut the pieces apart. Be careful how we apply it. So let's get that on this part of this tree. And then I'll do the grass down here. Oh yeah, that's cool. I like that. And you can see this plastic sort of has a little bit of a texture to it already. So putting the foil on it gives it a little extra dimensional look, which I really like. And so while this will be slick and glossy, this will have kind of a fuzzy texture to it because that's the way the plastic was molded. Okay, that's that. We got this little tree over here, and I gotta get a little bit right in there. Let's not miss it and confuse it with the mane, the lion. Fit right in there. Perfect. That's what I wanted. And now we'll take this one. Let's cut this one up a little bit. And we're going to put it right in there. Ooh, I accidentally tore that almost the perfect shape to go over the elephant's butt. I don't know how I did that, but let me wing the camera over here so you can see what I'm doing. This kind of work is for very patient people, and normally I am that patient person, but not today. Man, I'm just like, let's just get it done, for heaven's sakes, just be done. Oh yeah, look how cute that looks on the trees. Okay, and then we're gonna start back over here and go do the grass, at least the grass where I can reach it without messing up an animal's foot. And there's the giraffe's foot right there, so I'll rub it up to that point, pull it, see if I can get a little spot to shift in between the feet. There we go. And now we're at the lion. And I'm just basically rubbing against the lower line of the body here. So you got a little bit there, but that's okay. It will, in the end, it won't be a big deal. And if I get, you know, the thing is, if I get little spots of foil on places that don't make me happy, you know, that's what more foil adhesive is for. And just go over it and it's fine. Let's see if I can use a little more of this one. See, this is the kind of reason some of you get scraps in your packages. I know everybody generally wants scraps, but for those who are new to receiving foils, if you receive little bits and pieces of foil in your package, don't throw those out. Those are a little present from us to you. I keep all the leftover scraps from when I'm doing something here in the studio. I put them in the packing bag and they go to you in the shipping. You get little surprise packages or little surprise bits of foil. No, you can't request a special color, you can't request a special pattern, but you can request scraps when you order. And you guys have been scrap crazy lately. I have blasted through most of my scraps, so I had to start doing some more foiling projects, so I had them to send to you. Okay, so I think then we'll do the animals in copper. Or actually, this is not copper, this is orange. Yes, Desiree. Desiree loves her scraps. Desiree is one of our wonderful customers, and she loves foils. And I love sending her scraps because She then does something really interesting with them and posts them on Facebook in like a day after receiving them. Very, very cool stuff. Desiree is very creative. We have a lot of creative customers. That's why we always encourage you to share when we do share posts or post them into various groups. We are loving what you guys are creating. All right, so this is our orange foil. This is not copper. This is orange, like orange soda orange. So let's scrub a little. This is our elephant here. Keep going, finding the back end of the elephant. Here are the legs. Oh, fun. Look, that's cute. Look at that. And I will, once I'm done with this, of course, I will flip it. Actually, I could just flip it around so you all can see it now. I don't need to see the shape of the elephant in front of me. You would be better suited to see it for you. Get in there, just get a little more in that ear. Thought it was a little light-handed on the ear. Look how cute that is. So these recesses actually work to my benefit. Now the recesses also have foil adhesive on them. There's no denying that. But what I'll do is just top coat the whole thing so that the recesses will not be sticky anymore. So I won't have to worry about these recessed spots, these back not raised spots for somebody. Sometimes not everybody knows what I mean when I say something like recess, so I was struggling for another word. And actually what I was really just trying to say is some of this is raised, some of this is pushed back, so the foil is hitting the high spots on the raised area and not getting into the pushed back areas otherwise, and it's making for great detail, but this is still sticky, so I will seal that up. Is that a better summary of what I was trying to say? I hope so, because I kind of lost what I was saying before. All right, let's get the monkey up here because I know that's where he is. And actually, I'm going to take this orange and I'm going to use it for the band around here too. I was thinking about it, but now that it's all laid out nice and neat there, might as well just go for it. Now let's get a little more on the orange on the body here. Got to make our rhino pop. Now, if I was of a mind, I could use individual colors for each one of these, cut to pieces much smaller, have much tighter control over what I was doing. But I'm okay with where this is going because I want this to be a little more casual than it would be as if I was trying to control it that tightly. Now, this is still, after all, a children's bench, so there is that. And these what I just foiled here and what's right here, these are the trunks of the tree. So I definitely want to make sure they get some foil on them. Okay. Foil the monkey's butt. And I'm going to take a little fresh piece so that I have better release over on the giraffe and the lion. Where'd my scissors go? Here we go. And I'm going to be foiling this whole bench during the live, so if you're bored with watching me foil and want to see how it looks in the end, you might want to dip out for a while, because this is going to take me a little while. But I will be assembling the bench unless it stops being something that I can easily assemble, and then I'll come off camera and start cursing really loudly. well, I try not to show it on camera. I can curse like a sailor, especially when things go really wrong. Gosh, that's coming out so cute. Look how cute this is. Oh my gosh. Now, I know you're gonna ask me because not everybody saw it yesterday. I got this bench at Menards. I'm sure you can get it at Lowe's as well. They had some at Home Depot, but they were on back order and I didn't have time to wait. I needed to get my window done, so I did a local search to see who carried them. And the reason I knew I wanted this is there was a guy who's got a yard sale. And he had benches like this in his yard sale. But his prices were really, really high for what they were. And bless him, success. I hope he gets all the money he wants for them, but he wasn't going to get them from me. So I decided to go start doing a search on who had them locally and how much they were going to be. And I was able to find this little guy out of steel. The only part that's plastic is right here, for 35 bucks. And these are meant to go outside. So while our foil and foil adhesive is not exterior rated, I have tested extensively over the summer. And as long as they don't sit in direct sunlight, they hold up really well outside. And you do need an exterior rated top coat for it to hold up. So I always suggest AquaGuard or C500. C500 is Faux Effects hardest drying top coat that's interior and exterior rated. So for something like this, it would be ideal. But if you don't need something that strong, then go with the AquaGuard. For furniture, my go-to top coat is Varnish Plus. Okay. You just flip it this way just so I can see my edges in here. Okay, how cute is that? That is the back of our bench. I mean, that's just darling, darling, darling. I'm gonna flip this up because I just saw the funniest concept. Sarah Marie says her crochet hook has heard some words. Oh yeah. I used to do a lot more needlework. My hands don't easily go that small anymore, and I constantly jab my stuff. I've always said I'm kind of a jack of all trades. I get into anything and I go through phases. So for years I did needlepoint, then it was embroidery, then I was an avid sewer. I made a lot of clothes, but now it's foils. And look how cute that came out. Oh gosh. And it actually, because of the way the foil sits in there, look how it pops the details on the trees and the elephant. Oh, I'm so excited. Hey, Rima, nice to see you. All right, I'm gonna set this carefully aside because I have not top coated it and I still need to do the back. And so the next thing we're gonna do is this. Now this is one of the side arms. And you're gonna ask me, why don't I lay this down? Well, because there's foil adhesive on the side facing me. So I have to pick some foil and get one side done before I can show you what I'm doing on the other. And I think since we did the back brace in purple, let's have a little fun. What do you think? Should we do the arms? I'm thinking here. I do the arms in purple, and I can do the seat in copper and green leopard. So that's what I'm gonna do. I think that I've got my plan, which is funny because I never ever seem to have the plan organized. I actually do have our purple tie-dye too. So maybe I'll put a few accents of the purple tie-dye on things. I don't know. We're gonna find out. Now I've obviously got a large piece here because I'm gonna be working on long sides. And since I can't set this down, not at least at the moment, I have to make sure I've got everything laid nice and neatly. All right, there we go. Oh, that's so pretty on there. Make sure I got a little bit right up there. And again, I know I'm not going to have a flawless release. That's not possible. Foils are imperfect. My hands are imperfect. And the foil adhesive has a little bit of texture when you brush it on, so that's going to affect the release as well. But this is super cute. Now I know you can't see it, so you're gonna have to trust me until I can flip this over. But I will in just a second so you all can see how the purple looks, although you did see our grape soda color on the back of the bench. So you've seen how it releases already. Now if I can just get my hands here so I'm not sticking my fingers in foil adhesive and messing up a release, that would be good. I'm just going to go back in some spots here that I probably could have scrubbed a little harder. Better result out there. That's better. I hadn't been aggressive enough. Let's get this side here too. And then I can lay this down and you can watch me do it, not from behind the arm, but in front of it. There we go. Now I can lay it that way. We can flip this down and you can see the whole arm. Let me get all this extra foil out of the way. I got lots more purple sitting over there, so we've got more than enough to get through this. So let's do this way. Gosh, this just is so sharp looking. And as you can see, when I'm doing the scrubbing, I'm never scrubbing all the way up to a sharp edge. I'm scrubbing softly like this so that I don't have any seam that I have to figure out when I overlap. There won't be any line of demarcation that's really awkward and unattractive looking. Okay, so let's get this over here. Down on this side, here we go. And really, I just stop where I hit a spot where I'm running out of foil that can be released. And on there. Gosh, this is just so pretty. I love this. I'm chuckling because this is turning out really cool. So I have done all of this in the dark purple, so we're gonna have a little fun and put a little purple tie-dye on the other surfaces. Why? Because I can. I want to use all my fun, funky Halloween style foils on this bench that I have in stock. And trust me, if I had the other leopards and the glitters, they'd all be on here too. So we're just gonna go with one cool pattern after another. Oh yeah, get that spot right there. Now I'm trying to lay it on smooth, but between the size of the piece and the position that I'm putting it in, it doesn't always lay perfectly smooth. So I'm gonna have to probably, yeah, I see I got a little patch spot right there. There we go. I have a little patch spot right there. And when I flip it over, I probably have to work on the other edge quite a bit. All right, let's get up under this, right here. Come on, lay down smooth. And get into that corner. So the welds on this, because it's inexpensive, the welds that join this are a little rough. So I really had to jam foil adhesive on it. And now I'm having to really work the foil onto that rough surface to get it to pick up. It's like right there, it didn't grab. So I'm gonna go and put a little purple right there. There we go. But it's still coarse here, so I'm gonna have to work the other foil hard too. So I'm loving though the way this is coming out. All right, so let me. I'm gonna put this down here where you can see the top so that I can get the arch here. And because tie-dye is a non-directional pattern, I can move this foil around exactly however I need it. You see, I just laid it badly right there. I didn't lay it flat so it should have curved further. I did a bad job of laying that there. That's all right. I'm just not going to scrub all the way up to that edge there so that I have a more blendable connection. Go. And again, my hand is a big useful tool in this because it's warm and that helps foil release well. And look how cool that release is. I love that. All right, so let's get over in the front of this, like that. Back it up so you can see it. But I gotta prop it against me in a way that the adhesive doesn't stick to other things like old me. Again, I'm using my hand because my hand is warm. Heat and foil are very good combination. They like each other a lot. So if I can aid it by making it warm with my hand, of course that's what I do. And you see, my hand was nice and warm and I had a big surface, so I could just rub this foil on with just my hand. I didn't even need a scrubber. And look how good that looks. Oh yes. All right, so I'm gonna angle the camera up a little bit so I can work on the inside and you can see what I'm doing. This should stand up in its own because it's a leg. That doesn't mean it will. There you go. Standing on its own. So let's get the top here fixed. And there with the scrubber. So you can see, doing a bench like this has a lot of surfaces to contend with. You know, you look at it and you're like, oh, it's just a little simple bench. It's the same with a chair. The legs have multiple sides, the arms have multiple sides, the top, the bottom. There's a lot of shape to deal with here. So do not be at all surprised that you look at a chair or a bench and it takes you way longer than you anticipated. Because they got a lot of little hidden spots that you don't even think about. Ah yes, that's come out so nicely. I need to get in here. Right along the edge. Just remember too, we are open for business. So if I have a customer walk in, as I have had to do in the past, I will have to suspend the live and come back in a few minutes once I've taken care of the customer. Okay, so I've still got some under here. And then I have the back to take care of. So let's go under there. Hey Kathy, nice to see you. Oh my gosh, even my husband's watching now. I got you all here. Chip's just gonna be grateful that the purple bench doesn't show up in our living room. That poor man ends up with more creatively painted furniture than I think he ever anticipated when he married me. My son, however, loves it because he's going to have the coolest apartment ever. He gets all kinds of hand-painted furniture, too. It's sort of the hazard of being around a furniture artist. We create a lot of stuff. A little bit of something right there. That needs purple. I don't want to put the tie-dye on it. I don't know whether that rubbed off or it just got a blob or something on it. See what happens when we run foil over it. Yeah, it's got a little blob of something that got rubbed on there. So at least now I know what the problem is. I'll fix it later. There's one here too. I set it down while it was drying, and those were the two spots that this happened to lean on something else. And I knew I could be having an issue there. My own fault. Much used up that whole piece, so I need to pull another one. Just so everybody knows, we do have a whole another leg to do, but I'll work on the seat after this just to give you all a break from Relentless Purple. Just so you know too, not everything I own is brightly colored and shiny, although a lot of it is, because that's personally what I'm attracted to. But I have we can go a lot more sophisticated than you see me do a lot of times. Quite frankly, the lives show you things better when I'm bright colored. You know, if I'm doing really bright colored foils and really bright colored projects, you actually see the results better on camera when they're bright. Let's get this spot in here. So sometimes when I do a more subtle project, I don't always have it on camera because it just doesn't film well. You know, not until I get my professional production crew. You know, we got to work with what we got, and sometimes we have to make adjustments for, you know, making sure you all can see what I'm doing. But let's be real honest here too. I like a lot of color. I have never been a non-color person. Purple's always been a color I love, even though it's not an easy one to live with in large doses. But if you look around my house, there's lots of little doses of purple. Is that sticky there? That's sticky there. I could use the wrong color. Okay, so we have our leg done. So you can see we've got the purple tie-dye here. We've got the grape soda on the sides. So this is starting to be very, very fun. And I'm going to set that down there, and we're going to do a little work on the bench seat. Push some things out of the way so I can set this down without it becoming a logistical nightmare of bad things happening. Okay, so I've only put foil adhesive inside in here and on the front, not on the back. Why? Because I can't set it down on the table, otherwise it'll stick to it. So I think, since we have this framed in the purple up here, I should probably do the purple on the sides here. Yeah, there we go. Just making sure I got what I needed, and I just noticed a little blank spot on the bench behind me, so I'm just sticking a little tiny bit of purple there. Okay. All right, so let's take this. Sandy Riggs says, I have the back of the bench that has angles on it. The rest of the bench fell apart. I've been looking. Sorry, Sandy, I can't read on an angle, so I'm reading like a third grader. Oh, you've been looking for something to do with it. See, this bench, your bench, you could turn it into a wall hanging too. You know, that bench was super cute, and if it had been a true vintage piece and the rest of it was rotting, I might take that bench, paint the back, and hang it on a wall. Or even hang it away from the wall, suspended on a chain, so you get that great, like, room divider feel out of it. All right, let's get some purple on the side. Let's take my toothbrush here. This is challenging for me right now because there's not a whole lot of this yet that I can touch. So I watched All That Jazz last night for the first time in many years, and I forgot how amazing a movie it is, and how, quite frankly, grim, but also so much black humor in it, and it was so funny. So so completely, 1970s. It's very fun to watch. So I've got that done. As you can see, there's a piece of foil, but fortunately it's sticking in all the wrong directions. I'm going to throw that foil on the floor so it doesn't attach to anything. So just so you know, this really isn't wrought iron, it's hollow metal tubing, even though they're squares. And the reason there's these little dips right in the ends and in certain spots where they're bent is that these hollow pieces aren't meant to take those kind of sharp curves. So that's what happens. It kind of folds in on itself like it did like right there. Done. It was very funny because, sometimes you forget some of the slang of a period, and some girl in the movie was going, all right, all right, all right, like in total seriousness, and I was just cracking up. I don't know why that stuck, but I never said, even in the 70s, I was never somebody who went, all right. And so hearing somebody else do it just made me laugh really hard, which I'm sure was not the intention, but it did. So I'm taking little pieces of foil that I'm trimming and cutting them in here so I can get the inside spot. Yeah, we got to do that. Gotta take that moment, trim the little bits, get everything in where it's supposed to be. And by cutting this, because there's foil adhesive all up and down in here, then I don't get foil released where I don't want it on the inside. Yeah, is this an additional bit of work, an additional bit of pain in the neck? Sure. But it's also the stuff that makes the final project, the final result, look so much better. Little tiny spot that need that. And there we go. So I got the insides now. And I got to turn around and get the insides on the other side. One more little piece in there. I love doing this kind of stuff. It's hard for me when I do this on camera because I'm so used to being very quiet and doing it in my own studio and then, or by myself, And so when I turn the camera on, I know you probably want some narration about what I'm doing. And I forget. It's the same reason sometimes I forget to move the camera around. Okay, awesome, done. So I think we're going to go green, copper, green, copper, green. I think that would be good. Because the only other way to do it would be go to green, green, copper, copper, copper. But I think I like the idea of every other one. So I'm going to cut pieces that are the right length, but I'm going to have to cut them narrower because I don't want a lot of extra foil flopping around. That's going to be a pain. I didn't get it cut quite the way I wanted, but oh well. All right, so I'm laying it down from the edge, and I'm going to wrap the bar. Let's trim that piece off there. Let's at least use it to get the top part done, so we're all in one fell swoop on that. Why did I use that brush? Because it's the one I reached and grabbed. There was no specific plan for a need of a bigger brush. It just happened to be right there. All right, yay. That came out right. Just the way I wanted it. Yay. So I've got to clean up this down here. That edge. A little bit around here that needs a little bit of attention from a brush. And then I know I missed some in here. Sorry for the top of my head. All right. All right, so that's our first bar there done. That's perfect. Just what I wanted. Let's get that off of there. Let's see. Let's trim down this for a second one. Well laid out. Nice. Oops, that's awesome. Go. Little detail over here in this end that I missed. Perfect. Just a little scrubbing that needs to happen right there. applied it a little thin there, so it made a little extra tension to get it all released. And there we go. So that one can go to the side. And then we're going to do some orange. We'll do this one in orange and this one in orange, and we'll come back to the green in the middle. Yes, you can do this on a pumpkin. I don't recommend doing it on a real pumpkin because, you know, they rot. But we have done them on paper mache, we've done them on foam, we've done them on plastic. You can do this on any surface that you can think of to paint. You can apply foil adhesive to. As a matter of fact, next week when the new foils arrive, I have a whole bunch of pumpkins that we're going to be doing. All right, so now I've torn my orange foil so that I can get at it for the seat. Okay, and I cut a little short, so I'm not going to scrub carefully at the end here. I don't want that seam again. Same reason as before. I don't want to have a seam show up, so I will scrub near to that edge, but not up to it so I don't have a sharp line. Okay, let's see. Let's get this side too. Oh, that's cool. I like that. That's fun. Right, let's get this spot over here. Sorry guys, I gotta flip this down just so I can see the edges to make sure I haven't missed anything, because laying my head like that last time, my hair stuck to adhesive, so I'm not doing that again. Okay, I got a little tiny spot over here to get. Ouch, that was my finger. Okay, and then flip it around again. Other piece of orange. Let's throw these big pieces that I'm done with on the floor so they don't get constantly stuck on what I'm working on. Almost done. Just got a little spot over here. And then we have the center one to do in the green leopard again. And I just found a little spot up top here that I missed with the green leopard. Our kiwi green leopard. Which by the way. So fun. And this color. You're combining animal print and a kiwi green. It's so pretty. Just gonna make sure I got every spot I could get there. And all right, here's the last of our kiwi. Gosh, everything's flipping around. Oh, thank you. Can you cut foil on a Cricut? Yes and no. You can, the problem with cutting the foil on the Cricut is that it, any of the tacky boards that you want to apply the foil to use, the foil will want to release on. Even if you cut it upside down, it's still really challenging to get it to weave properly and then to lay it down well. We normally suggest that either you use our heat transfer vinyl adhesive that is designed to go through Cricut cutters, and we have lots of videos on those. Or if you're going to make something, we know a lot of Glowforge people were doing this, but also on Cricut you can foil a surface that can be used like balsa wood that you can use with your Cricut, or plastic that's thin enough to go through your Cricut, and then cut it. It's probably a more successful result doing it that way. Or we use the heat transfer vinyl adhesive where you can cut any pattern on your Cricut cutter, release the vinyl onto a surface, and then put the foil on that. I hope I answered your question well enough, Kathy. Hey, Patricia, and I'm just so excited to have you all here. So look how fun that is. So now we've got our bench seat, and we're gonna do the last of the arms, and then I'm gonna top coat everything. But I don't think you guys are gonna wanna watch me top coat. If you wanna watch me top coat, I'll stay live and you can watch me do it. It's not that interesting. All right, so again, we're back on this. I'm gonna move the camera up so that you can see me doing the work, even though this first part obviously is going to be positioned in a way where I'm working on the back here so I can set it down, and that means you're going to be watching me put foil, purple foil on reverse and from the back. It's not that interesting to watch, I know, but if I set this down on the table right now, all that nice foil adhesive that's on here is going to stick to the table, and I will have ruined my project. Off, nice release. And then once I get this side done, I'll flip it over on its side so you can see what I'm doing again. Careful how I put my hands on this. I'm really trying hard not to stick my fingers in the foil adhesive. So you don't need to see my fingerprints on the job. You just want to see a good result. Rest of that one down here. That's good. And the foil will have adhered better some places than others, and that is strictly because of the way I applied the adhesive. It has nothing to do with the foil, has nothing to do with anything other than the way I apply it. Because I brush this on by hand, and I kind of personally like that flawed foil look. I embrace it. I think it can look really cool. Okay, so now I can flip this down. We can go back there. Oh, you think so? I have vases you want to put this on, but I want to design. You're probably, okay, for your vases, I suggest doing this with a stencil. You can apply your foil adhesive 100% over your surface, then lay the stencil on it. Release your foil through the stencil, pull the stencil up, and then lay foil over the entire surface, and that will give you a pattern with foil on an awkward surface that doesn't require heat to release the foil. Because heat transfer vinyl adhesive requires heat to put that through Cricut. Just understand, foils are, I'd say give it a shot. I'm just not sure how satisfactory a result you're going to have. But I'm all about, I've never done that before, so let's give it a shot. I think if you put this through your Cricut, you obviously are going to have to put it this side up, because if you put this side down, you're going to leave all your foil released on the sticky boards that are used in Cricut cutters. And that would kind of defeat the purpose of cutting the foil. But I say go for it. Give it a try. That's not something I've done yet. Who knows? Maybe I'll try it next week. Maybe, given the quality of my memory right now. Anybody who's been going through their 50s knows that you go through a period where your memory literally just disappears for a while. But the good news is I've been told it comes back, so I'm hopeful. Because right now, if I don't write it down, I don't remember it. And even if I do write it down, sometimes I don't remember to look at the paper I wrote it on. So, yeah, that happens. So you see that projects like this will take surprisingly more foil than you'd think. So I'm like, it'll just be a couple feet. And I've been doing this for forever, and you'd think I'd remember better, but I don't. So be aware, you're going to need more foil than you think you might need to do stuff like this. And that's okay. So I'm going to put the purple tie-dye foil on here on the arch. I know it's away from you, but it'll help me lay it down better if it's facing me. I really like that. And when I find little spots that don't seem to have released very well, I come back in and I go over it with my fingers, like you see me do it, because the rubbing, again, it's heat, it's friction, and that helps release sometimes where scrubbing doesn't. Got a whole spot right here with foil adhesive. So, fortunately I have my foil adhesive right here. What do you want to bet though? I don't have a paintbrush near me. Of course I don't. I'll fix that after I finish foiling everything else, because otherwise I'll just make a mess out of it. But see, even though I know what I'm doing, I forgot adhesive all on this front leg. What an idiot. What a bonehead move. I'm proud of myself when I do stuff like that. Nice release. Let's see if I can get this where you can see a nice release there. That's pretty. All right, I can hold this in between my legs now. Oops, no I can't, because I did not put foil adhesive there. I don't want to ruin the release by putting my legs on it. Don't want to dull that adhesive. Now that I got it in this position, I might as well go in here and do this. Ow. I didn't mean for that to happen. See, I'm so, the adhesive's so sticky, it wants to leave the foil and take the table. Let's see if I can get this in a position where you guys can see it better on camera. All right, it's time to start cutting this up into smaller pieces so I can get a little better access into the more awkward places. There we go. Excellent. Let's take that way. That. Now I got to get the underside here, but that there's not enough on there for that to really take enough to be useful. Nope. Put a little more adhesive in that spot. Right there. I missed it with the adhesive. I missed the adhesive right there. So this leg I was not as diligent as I was on other parts of this, so shame on me. Go back and put some foil adhesive on spots. I have the idea of having you guys watch me put this together and top coat it and everything is not going to happen, because obviously I have a few spots that need foil adhesive. The foil adhesive then needs to dry for a little while, and then I can do all the top coating and stuff. Plus, this gives me a chance to go over it, make sure I've got all the foil released exactly how I want it released before I put it together. A little bit of purple right there that needs to be released. I'll even put a spot of purple in there just because I can, because it's in my hand and we're playing purple on purple, and it's purple tie-dye and purple everything else. A little more of this tie-dye on there because I can feel a lot of adhesive and I don't see a lot of release, but that piece of foil is getting a little tired too. So let's take advantage and put a little more on here. There we go, that's better. I'm getting the release. I just need a little fresh foil on those spots. Okay, so I got this last spot in the back to do, and then I need to do a little more foiling, obviously. Adhesive on, laid on stuff. But look at all the scraps I've created for the next bunch of orders, everybody. So this will be fun. You ordered, you'll be seeing some of the scraps that we used here today. That's the wrongest brush. That one's too soft. Woohoo! Let's get this over here. Okay, so I'm going to be putting foil adhesive on the front. There's a couple of thin spots that I missed on the bottom, so I'll catch those. And then I'll top coat, we'll put it together, and it'll go in the window before I leave here tonight. Yay! Oh yeah, I got time. I'm not staying late tonight. I have a date night with my honey, and we are doing lobster night, our summer lobster night. Kathy, thank you, Pat, for posting it up there. Yes, paintedstudio.com is our website. I always post at the top here once we stop being live. I go back in, I post the list of all the foils that we used, all the products that we used, so you know everything, and you can find it on our website. All right, everybody, thank you for sticking with us. I'm gonna go finish this project up and hopefully get it assembled and put it in the window, and then I'm gonna go home and have a date with my honey. Now, I ask everybody to please sprinkle the love. If you're not sure what sprinkling is, that little button right over here has an arrow. Use it. That helps us grow our reach, which then allows us to do more contests and giveaways and keeps us here with you creating fun and fabulous projects. So thank you. I can't wait to see the window either, Gigi, because I haven't found all the stuff yet. We unpacked what we thought was all of it, and I'm like, no, there's none of the lights, there's none of the garland, there's none of the this, there's none of that. But I do have my Eiffel Tower all lit up in purple and orange lights, so when it's dark, I will take a picture of that once I finish decorating the window. This window is taking me forever because I keep coming up with new ideas of stuff to put in it. And the bench is the latest one. Should have been doing the bench last month. All right, everybody, sprinkle the love. Thank you for everybody for watching. Thank you for watching me make my mistakes and understanding that we all do it. I make them here so you learned from them. Because obviously after 30 years, I haven't learned from them, so somebody should. All right, everybody, have a good one. I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.